Here I'm going to show you how to create animated videos in Canva for free. It's pretty easy to do, and you can click the link in the description to follow along or simply get free access to Canva. So let's begin this Canva video animation tutorial for beginners. What you first want to do is when you're on your main dashboard, click on the create design aspect, which is going to be right there. I already did that for you. And what we're going to be doing is clicking on video right here. If you don't see video, simply just type it in and it should come up, but we're going with video 1080p. That's the first step. Alright, so here we are in the design editor, and the first thing that we're going to be looking for is some animated characters. This could be just characters in general, maybe some graphics, maybe it's a business person if you happen to be talking about a business, or even just some cartoon designs. These are all the things that we can type in right here for search elements. Nevertheless, I am just going to put in characters right here. There we go. And as you can see, there's going to be plenty that we can choose from. There's even going to be specific sections. And the cool thing about it is that when you type in something like this, there's going to be very similar keywords that you can use right here, like cartoon people, characters, persons, so on and so forth. We have graphics there. There's even going to be some videos if you want to do that. Now, I say that you can use this for free when creating Canva. You absolutely can. If you want to use Canva Pro, you can get many more graphics. They also come with a free trial, so you can still follow along if you want to do that. So I'm going to click on graphics right here, just to kind of give you an idea of some that you can utilize. Now, if you have an idea about what you're going to be talking about specifically, you might want to narrow it down a little bit more. Let's say I'm going to be just doing a quick presentation or animation when it comes to my brand in general, Marketing Island. Given that, I'm going to maybe search for something business related. So like we have businessman right there that I've already typed in. I think this is going to look a little bit better based upon that I'm talking about marketing. Does that make sense, right? So maybe if you're doing something with a teacher, you might search for a teacher and so on and so forth. But as an example, let's go ahead and find someone that we can use. I'm going to go with this person right here. Okay, so what I want to do is also flip it and do this. Okay, let's make it a little bit bigger. Great. So this is going to be our first section right here. And before I get to any of the animation, I just kind of want to display how it works, create some pages. I'm not going to create too many because once you get the idea of creating one, you're going to understand how to create the animations, how to find the images, and so on and so forth. Next, we have text. Okay, so I'm going to click right here on text. And for this, I'm just going to go with adding a heading. So let's just say once again, we're doing the Marketing Island. Let's see. I'm going to move this up a little bit more. And I'm also going to add another heading. Let's just say branding overview. Let's just say I was going to be selling my online business. And this is just a random example. I'm not selling it, just to give you an idea. So I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. Let's say like 48. That's fine. And we want to move this right around over here. Given the fact I am talking about my brand here, I'm just going to throw in my logo as well in my uploads. Okay, so there's my logo. If you don't have one, don't worry about it. Like I said, you don't have to copy the specific setup of this. It's just an example and to show you how it's done. So now we have this section right here, and if we play it, nothing's going to happen. Everything is on the page, but this is where the magic comes in terms of creating the animation. First and foremost, anytime we add an image or text, we can click on it, and what we can do is click on animate. This is where the fun is going to begin. So what we can do is just hover over this and kind of take a look at the ones we might want to use. We don't have to use any. In fact, you can just keep that there. For example, the logo on the bottom right, I probably won't animate, but these are just a lot of the examples that you can use. We have drift, tectonic, tumble, moving pretty quick there, scrapbook, and a few others. So let's go with this one. And another cool thing is that you can change around the speed and the direction. So if I go like this, it's going to go really fast, but if we go slow, I think going a little slower is going to be better. There's a better animation to it, and we can keep it like that. So if we ever want to remove that, we click on it and do remove animation. So we have animation for that. Now let's click on our text right here. And what we also want to do here is click on animate just like we did with the image. And you're going to notice there's going to be some good ones here. We have the typewriter effect, send, shift, and I kind of like typewriter here, and I'm going to do something cool, so make sure you pay attention on this one. Okay, we have that there. We can do both. We can do on enter or on exit. I'm just going to do on enter. We have the speed. All right, so what we want to do is click on it. You want to do right click, and then you want to do show element timing. So now you can see that this text is going to be going throughout the entire time. But if we click on this one, it's now going to show branding overview. And what we can do is make this a little bit shorter so that it pretty much starts once the island ends. So you see that there? So it's going to start at around 3 seconds. So what I can do now is actually play this for you, and you're going to see what it looks like. This is going to zoom in, this is going to typewrite, and then that's going to show up. But I think we forgot to add the typewriter section to that. So let's click on the animate. There we go, typewriter. Perfect. And then that's going to come in. There you go. some nice animation, pretty simple to do, but it works very well. And like I said, I think I'm just going to keep the logo there. Let's click on here so that we can do another page. And I'm going to show you some other things you can do in terms of transitions, or maybe just give you some ideas. So next, let's just say we're going to go to elements. I'm going to search for maybe portfolio. Okay, and we'll use this one. I like these kind of animated cartoonish graphics right here, so I'm going to go with that. Once again, to give you an idea, and let's say I'm going to showcase some of the thumbnails I'm using just because it's Marketing Island, right? So what I can do here is go to elements once again, which we are here. I'm going to exit off of that, and I'm going to type in frame and then 4. Because I want to showcase a lot of thumbnails at once, and these are going to be perfect. So if anytime you want to use frames too as well, you can just type in frame and do see all. These are beneficial because what you can do is just simply add it in there, and when you go to uploads, you can drag and drop it in there, and it's going to fit perfectly. So a beautiful thing if you ever wanted to do that. I'm just going to delete that. So let's go back to elements. I'm going to do frame 4, enter. So that way I can showcase just 4 at a time. And I think something like this is probably going to be perfect. So I'm going to drag it just to make it a little bit bigger so it fits nicely, maybe a little too big. This might be a little bit big as well, just kind of centering it and make it look better. So I think that looks fine. Now what I can do is go to uploads. I'm just going to drag and drop a few of these here. Okay, and if this was a portfolio, it could be of your design work, depending on what it is, like if you're a teacher, you know, something that you teach, assignments, if you're doing marketing, some of your case studies, testimonials, whatever it is, right? You can be very creative with it. And once again, we can do the same exact thing. So if we click on portfolio here, we can do animate. And we can look for something maybe a little bit different. We have breathe, we have baseline, tumble. Let's go with tumble. I can make it a little bit slower. Or was that faster? Let's see. Yep, that's faster. So I think something like that is fine. And we can click on this as well. And we're also going to have an animate. So that's going to fly in pretty quickly. And then we have this one. Okay, tumbles pretty quick. Something like that. And once again, we can change this around. So I think something like that looks fine. Now here's the cool thing. What we can do here is anytime we have 2 slides, if you bring your mouse to the middle of them, you're going to see add page and you're going to see add transition. So now this is where we can start blending both of them together. Simply hover over one to see what the transition is going to look like. So we move from one to the next. We have circle wipe. We have color wipe. That one's not bad. Line wipe. I think that one looks pretty clean. Match and move. Actually, that one looks great. Flow. Actually, I think flow looks the best now that I think of it. So we can click on this one. And if you want the duration to be a little bit shorter, a little bit longer, let's say 1 second. And then when we test it out, we can see what it looks like. This is going to be our original slide. And I think that looks fantastic. Now, the cool thing about this is that, let's see, once you start creating more of these, what you can do is just pretty much create something like this. Let's see, let's go back here, and you can do apply to all pages. So this is something to keep in mind. If you want to use this flow specific one or whatever one you picked, once you start creating more, go back to it and you can just do apply between all pages. That's going to save you a lot of time in case you just want to use the same one. Okay, and pretty much it's going to be, you know, everything is going to be repeating over and over. So let's say this one is just going to be, maybe you have an image of you. Let me grab one. All right, so like it would be, you know, about section. So I know that's not really animated, but in case you want to do that. And then we could have some text under it. So for example, let's do a subheading. Worked with 100+ companies, and I'm just going to pretty much just duplicate these, right? So I'm going to paste this just to make it a little bit quicker so I can show you the animation on these. So let's just say we did that, right? So once again, what we can do is go to About Me, and we can do our animate once again. So if there's anything new we want to do, so About Me, that'd probably come in the quickest. I think that looks great. That looks good. And we do the same thing here. So with animate, I'd probably do these one at a time. So let's see, burst. That one's pretty cool. I'm going to do the same one for all of these. So we can do animate. I think we did, was it skate? Sure. And then we have skate. Now remember, once again, we want to right click on this and we want to do the element timing, which we have. So now we can do 10 years experience is most likely going to be first. And if we ever want to make the video a little bit longer, we can go to the end of it and just start dragging it out a little bit more. So you kind of have time to read these and have a little bit more time to breathe, so to speak. So 10 years experience can maybe start, you know, about, let's see, right there. So at 6.5. Now we can click on this one. And this one's going to be after, right? So pretty much once that one finishes, perfect. And now we can click on the last one, and we want to do it once the other one finishes. So that's almost done, and right there. So that's a reason why you might want to stretch it out a little bit more, just so that there's time for someone to say read it. So we can do something like this, and it's going to go with it. So let me go back from the beginning. Let's actually just take a look at this example and see what we have. Okay, branding overview, and then we have our beautiful transition. This is just going to be a portfolio. And again, we're going to have that transition about me. We have kind of the typewriter effect. So that works perfectly with the timing there. Fantastic. And of course, like I said, if you want to create a new slide, you can do that. And probably the biggest thing that you're going to be doing here is the characters and graphics section. So you'll probably be using these a lot, especially if you have Canva Pro. There's a lot of cool ones, like we have a ninja here, a duck. I don't know if you're going to be using any of these specifically, but I happen to just use a picture of me. But if you wanted to find one that maybe looked like you could do that as well. For example, I do wear glasses every now and then if I'm not wearing contacts, so I could probably use that instead of this one here. But there's going to be one more thing that we can do, because continuing on is pretty much going to be the same thing, where we repeat the process. You add the information and then some animation and transitions going forward. So last but not least, what we want to do is once we finally finish, we want to click on the share button right here, and we want to go to download. All right, so MP4 video, we definitely want this. Remember, this is going to be a video. 1080 is going to be great if you want to save it at a much higher quality. So for 4K, if you have Canva Pro, you can do that. But I'm just going to keep it at 1080p. All of the pages are naturally going to be selected. So make sure that all of the pages there are the ones you're going to want to use within it, which makes sense, right? You can download pages as separate files, which you probably don't need to do unless maybe you want to save the whole thing and then save the file separately for some odd reason. And if you want to save the download settings, you can, but that's just a preference. And last but not least, you're simply going to click on download. You're going to wait for it to download, and you, my friend, have created a video animation in Canva for free. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. I will do my best to help. If you got any value out of this, be sure to give it a like, as it helps me out tremendously. And if you made it all the way to the end, a virtual high five for you. I will leave a link for a free gift in the description that can help with building and growing your digital business, if that's what you're into, of course. My name is James. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.